If you are new, this is a monthly meeting that is completely virtual and is open to everyone who works for the City of Falls Church general government. Today, we have a full agenda of updates for you. We're going to kick off with city managers updates, led by our city manager, Wyatt Shields. Nate Dupree is going to go into an AI policy we're rolling out, and Andy Young is going to give an update regarding the Director of Code Administration. Next section is our how-to. This is information that helps us as employees. David So is going to talk about our FY26 calendar closing period. Maggie Redden's going to give an update on our Chronicle employee newsletter transition to SharePoint, which we experienced for the May one. And then Megan DeSalle is going to close out open enrollment updates. That next one is big project updates. It's been a year now that we've been working on mission, vision, values as a team, and Joe Carter is going to give us an update on our current phase, which are some working groups. Then we're going to go into events hosted by the city, and you'll see some favorite faces from the Fun Bunch, Public Works, Rec and Parks, and Communications, followed out by some just reminders of what's coming up the rest of May and in June. With that, I'd like to hand off to our city manager, Wyatt Shields. Wyatt.
Well, thank you, Mary Catherine. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining our employee town hall, and happy Public Works Week, everybody. Scarlett, later on in the agenda, is going to tell us a little bit more about some of the activities this week. But Public Works is the foundation for all of the infrastructure and the professionals in our Public Works department. Really create the spaces for all of us to be able to do our work and for the community to thrive. So a big thank you to all of our Public Works staff during Public Works Week. So welcome to our new employees. Really pleased to welcome Mark Evans, who's joining us in our dispatch team with emergency communication as an emergency communications technician. And we're welcoming back.
Is everybody okay with that?
Yeah. Hi, Kayleen. We got to mute you there. Thank you. We're welcoming back J.R. Alcantara, who's rejoining the department as a police officer. Very excited to have his swearing-in ceremony just yesterday at the city clerk's office. Leila Sarmiento, also joining our dispatch team as an emergency communications technician. And Caitlin Lau is joining as a deputy clerk of court. And for those of us who know Zach Lau in the police department, it's great to have the whole Lau team supporting the city. And so congratulations to all of our new employees, and congratulations to David Taylor in the Commissioner of Revenue's office, who is a full-time permanent employee. So welcome and congratulations to all. So Nate, I'm going to turn it over to you. We had a small team that put together a memo which will provide city managers guidance on the use of artificial intelligence and the scope of city employees' work. And so, Nate, why don't you tell us about that?
Sure. Thank you, Wyatt. And good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I'm happy to announce that the city has developed and approved guidelines for the use of artificial intelligence in city operations. The city's posture on AI is that we are welcoming to this tool, and we want to embrace it and use this new technology. We want to encourage you to explore it, and if you haven't already, start really getting into using it. The AI guidance it's a starting place. It establishes principles that the city staff are expected to follow while using this powerful tool. There are several, but two critical principles that I want to emphasize. And the first one is protecting privacy. This means being careful not to include personal identifying information of any kind when using your AI models for the tool, be it staff or citizens. You have to be careful when you're putting your data in and using your prompts. And secondly, we want you to be understanding this responsibility comes with your work. So put in your prompts, but don't trust, but verify information or the output of your AI. And lastly, I guess we want to give some thoughts on, or give some guidance on the training. We are exploring training opportunities for the staff, and right now we encourage you also to explore some training opportunities. We haven't we want to actually get training in to support the staff as the city as a whole, maybe to train everyone up. But until we find that, we do encourage you to explore some training opportunities and share them with us and share them with others, so we can all learn together and we might can help each other. Again, this is a new technology for us, and it's encouraging. So I'm really happy to announce that guidance should be coming out. Hopefully, we just distributed it today. I don't know if you want me to answer any questions, Mary Catherine. We have time to fill some questions if there are any.
We do, absolutely. And everyone, you can either put your question in the chat for Nate, or you can raise your hand.
Here we go.
All right, here we go. Maria has the first question. Hi, is the city paying for training opportunities?
We are hoping, yes, we budget some money for training. Have been in contact with a few vendors, and we're looking at maybe getting them to come in and do some personalized training, or even do some video training. So we are expecting to budget some money for training.
Excellent. Great first question. We have a hand raised from Sarah Young. Sarah. Sarah, you're on mute.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Great. I was wondering, what is the consequence for people who put personal information into AI? As for AI, it's in there permanently. So I'm wondering on our side, what is the consequence for doing so?
That is a good question. I don't have the answer right now, but if we could just at the moment, just be very careful of not doing that. But I will get that. We'll have that answer shortly. We'll work on that answer.
Great. Yeah, I would like some version of enforcement or something that would help encourage people to not do that, or if they do it, that they would be deeply encouraged to not do that in the future, because there's no method by which to truly rectify that.
Correct.
Thank you for that question, Sarah. Our next question is in the chat. It's from Claudia. What AI resources are safe to use?
We'll answer that. I'll answer that question by saying which one that we don't feel confident in using, and that would be DeepSeek, and that's just due to our relationship with China. There are some that we encourage. We have Copilot, which is a part of Microsoft, which is the platform that we use. There are some other ones that we feel as though it's pretty confident in using, such as Gemini and such as ChatGPT. But I would say we only have one that we would consider not a good one to use, and that's DeepSeek.
Thank you so much, Nate. The next question is from Nikki. What is the city's position on the environmental impact of AI? Will restrictions be imposed to help protect water and electricity usage?
That's a bigger question than the city can answer. But just like in the city's effort into be a more green city, we want to be mindful of our use and the amount of energy that using the AI, this AI tool has on our environment. So I would answer that by saying that be mindful that we are a green city. So every time you use AI, there is a tax that our environment does have to pay.
Thank you, Nate. Melissa's question is next. How does the city monitor if there is personal information out there?
Good question. The IT staff, we're working to leverage some of our technology that we have on the back end to protect and catch the PI before it goes out. So for right now, we're working on the back end to try to have a safety net for us.
Thank you, Nate. We have questions from Jody and from Laura regarding which specific ones to use, not use. And I think you covered that, Nate, and I know that will be as part of the information you share afterwards.
Sure.
Ripple asked about the sharing of information, and I believe there will be information that is shared and documents following this.
Yes.
Next question is Caitlin has her hand raised, and then we'll go to Veronica's question.
Okay.
Hi, Nate. This with the city adopting an official AI policy and having some guidelines on it, does that mean that we'll be able to use integrate Copilot or use Copilot more than we currently are? I feel like previously we were still figuring out some of the security parameters around Copilot, but I'm curious if this means that we'll be sort of expanding our use of Copilot in our Microsoft suite.
Yes. Well, there's a couple different, not to get too far in the weeds, there's a couple ways you can use Copilot. There's a couple licenses in Copilot, and what you're referring to is maybe a higher license, because the Copilot that you have now basically is a browser use of Copilot, and the one that you're referring to is a more enterprise or a higher level license that we would have to pay for, that would integrate a little bit more with our Microsoft tenant. That option, we are planning to put together a test group, beta test group, to see how we can actually leverage the enterprise license or the higher license, and see what kind of use case we can make out of it and what kind of usability we can get out of it. So to answer your question shortly, there are multiple licenses, but yeah, we're looking at expanding the capabilities.
Okay, that's what I was asking, is if this policy would sort of open up that door for us to to integrate Copilot into like Outlook and Teams and OneNote, which we don't currently have. So that's great.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you for that, Caitlin. We have a question from Veronica. Does the policy cover FOIA and records management?
So I do want to caution policy, the use policy. This is actually guidelines. We are going to work a little more essentially on actually developing a policy. This is more or less guidelines. And no, it does not necessarily cover FOIA, but that's something that we'll make a note of for the policy.
Right. We have a clarification question from Laura. We would be using the enterprise version of Copilot?
No, right now everyone has just a browser Copilot, basic chat of Copilot right now that's included in your Office suite by license. Now we will have to purchase, and each license, I believe, for the next tier license of Copilot, I think it's just around $34, and we don't have that budget for everyone, and it's not something we could just blanketly just buy for everyone, and that's not something we will do for everyone.
Yeah, thank you for that, Nate. We do have a couple of comments that have come in the chat, but I'm going to keep taking questions instead. The next one is from Saul. Do different subscriptions give different levels of data privacy?
Yes. There's an internal and external. There's an internal, external, we'll say privacy container that we would obviously pursue. So that one, that's going to be on more on the enterprise. I believe that next level of Copilot that we would have that internal, that we would keep it basically to our own, I want to use LLM, but our own data pool.
Thank you, Nate.
That answers the question.
I'm going to keep questions open for another minute. I do feel like this is one that folks might want to continue to ask questions about later. I like that you've pointed out, Nate, that this is guidance and that there is going to be a document that comes out. So that is, I think, a great way for people to review that information and return with questions. And they can come to you with those questions, right, Nate?
Sure.
Awesome. Okay. We have another question from Sarah. Do we have a private data pool for Falls Church AI?
Not yet.
Okay.
It's all right now. So basically going to be all in our tenant. So anything that we're doing now is technically within our tenant,
Okay.
which
All
is
right.
basically our domain.
I'm going to take this as our last question until the end, if you can stick around, Nate, because I do want to keep moving forward on the agenda. But so I'll give the last question to Melissa. When can we expect the guidelines to be issued so everyone can read them?
Guidelines are approved.
We'll email
sorry,
those
sorry,
out
Wyatt.
right after this meeting so everyone can read them.
Great. Thank you, Nate. Thank you, Wyatt.
You're
All
welcome.
right. I want to keep all of this interest and excitement going and move on to our next one. I'm going to invite Deputy City Manager Andy Young to come to the podium and share with us a nice big update. Andy.
Thank you, Mary Catherine. Good morning, everybody. So wanted to let you know about a new organization change that we'll be implementing in July as part of the FY27 budget. One of the council priorities over the last several years was to make improvements to the city's permitting processes. And so we did a big assessment last fall, and I'll actually kind of drop a link for those that are interested. So we did an assessment last fall. We talked to a lot of folks from staff, from industry and the community to get input on ways we could improve our permitting processes. And we got a 70-page report, that detailed a series of kind of 13 key recommendations on a range of kind of topics with quick win opportunities and some long-term kind of enhancements to technology, all kind of with the guise of improving our permit processes. So to help bring some focus to this work, we're creating a new Department of Code Administration. So this combines our kind of building safety and zoning teams. And this team will be kind of the point for the city on coordinating permitting, zoning, and all the processes that oversee construction activities in the city. And then, working with other departments as well. And they'll also be kind of charged with helping transform our city's permitting processes, customer service improvements, standard operating procedures, implementing new technology. So the end result with this organizational changes, and you can see with the chart on the right, kind of for our external operations part of the organization, effectively we're replacing the Community Planning and Economic Development Services division or department that you guys are familiar with a Department of Community Planning, led by Matt Matusik, a Department of Code Administration, and then our Economic Development Office, led by Becky Witzman. So we will have a new director to lead code administration, and this person will provide leadership to the 15 employees in code and building safety and zoning. I think as you all have heard kind of from our recent budget presentations, we weren't able to increase the city's FTE count for FY27. So we'll be limiting applicants to this new leadership position to internal applicants only. Depending on who's ultimately selected, we'll look at kind of other organizational adjustments to distribute responsibilities if needed. We're going to have a robust selection process like we do with our other director positions. The position's going to be posted this week and it'll be open until June 5th. And if folks want to learn some more or potentially interested in applying, I'd be happy to share some more and discuss further. So folks, please feel free to reach out. Any questions?
You can raise your hand for questions or put them in the chat, and we'll take a few and then we'll keep moving forward. And Andy, if you can stay on the end if there are questions, I'm sure folks wouldn't mind that. Jody, your hand's raised.
So have we implemented any changes yet in the permitting process, or that's going to be under this new position?
I think the team's getting organized and starting to kind of look at the report and kind of identify a plan for the year, but that's going to be the charge of the new director is going to be kind of our key leader on implementing those changes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Great kickoff question. Thank you, Jody. Does anyone else have questions?
So Mary Catherine, that's the end of the city manager's report part of the town hall, and I will email out the AI policy. Thank you, Nate, for that presentation, and Andy, thank you for your presentation on the code administration department, and for the commentary, sort of the discussion on AI. That is what we want at these employee town hall meetings, for people to ask questions, comment, to provide their suggestions, their perspective on things. AI is part of our ecosystem now, and just as a society. And so we've been pretty silent on our use of it as an organization. And so we wanted to articulate a couple of principles, some prohibited acts for AI, and also to open the door officially for staff to use it, to learn from it, and to be very transparent about their use of it. It is being used in this organization right now, but in some respects, I think it's probably a little bit under the surface, and we want to bring it out into the light so that we know we're using it and are very transparent about it when we do use it. And we'll learn as we go as an organization, and we will amend this policy as time goes on, and as we go through some additional training. I think we'll carry forward the conversations that started with this employee town hall today. So thanks, everybody. Mary Catherine, I'll turn it back to you.
Thank you so much, Wyatt. And I want to thank the team that just came on to give those updates. I feel like it's great to kick off with discussions and to continue to ask questions. So now we're going to get into our section where we have some rapid updates from team members. And we're going to start this off with, I think, some pretty important stuff, which is our closing calendar for FY26. I'm going to invite David So, our finance director, to the mic. David.
All right. Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Mary Catherine. So we sent out this calendar earlier in the year, but just as a reminder, as we get close to the end of the year, we wanted to make sure that people knew kind of the key dates that we've outlined here to ensure a smooth year-end close. Some of the key points I want to touch on this slide here is, just making sure that departments are working in advance. Those target dates, one of the things that I've done is I've scheduled meetings across all the departments. We're still meeting with several other departments, with the directors and their staff, to go over their financials. But just make sure that as we're reviewing it, that you're making all the ordering, BAS that are needed on a timely basis. So that being said, if you could go to the next slide. So this slide here, I'm not going to go over all the bullet points here. Just a few things I want to note is I did color code it. So in a sense, if you see kind of on the left-hand side, the red boxes align to the red text on the right-hand side, just to kind of give you a better idea of what date matches to kind of the specific items that we've addressed here. I think the big one here is June 3rd. That's kind of the last day to enter requisitions. So just make sure that, that only leaves us with a few weeks. So please just make sure that whatever budget that you have, that you're putting in those requisitions. If you can move to the next slide. Here, you can start to see that we're now getting into, 2027. And so really, Monday, June 15th is kind of the first day where you can start putting in requisitions against 2027. But just make sure that, you're checking all the proper fields, putting in the information. Some other key dates, June 30th is the last calendar day for fiscal year 2026. And the last thing here to highlight is payroll reimbursements is due to finance Thursday, July 9th. So if we can move to the next slide. There's, again, now going to be a few more kind of after the fact items. Again, I won't touch too many of these here, but it's pretty self-explanatory. But again, feel free to reach out to Melissa and I if you do have any questions or concerns. But there are still going to be continued activities, beyond the June 30th date related to our FY 2026. So the last slide that I had, mind going? The next slide, yeah. So just some key takeaways here, is that 2026 invoices, we do need them sent to us by July 23rd. We have a lot of year-end activities, so we need these invoices in order to prepare for our year-end close, as well as the audit that we're about to begin. Some of these things here, just again, some key takeaways. Again, not going to go over it too much, but feel free to ask me if there's anything that we may have missed, or if you have any other questions. So that's it.
David, thank you so much. This is really helpful. And y'all, as David said, this has been put out to all of us ahead of time. But now that we're down to these deadlines, if you do want to print out those calendars and those reminders, after this, we will be sending out the PowerPoint presentations. They are available on the P Drive in our town hall. So you might want to just print those couple of slides, put them on your desk so that we all hit those deadlines. I think we have enough time for 1 or 2 questions, but I do want us to keep going so that we get to all of our guests today. We have a question from Amy. Thank you for payroll. Does PR 15 get split between the 2 fiscal years, or where is the payroll cutoff? Great question.
Melissa, do you happen to know the answer to that one? If Melissa's on. Yeah, I can go back and get you the answer to that, Amy, related to that question.
Sorry, I had a hard time finding my unmute button. But yes, that payroll 15, Amy, I assume you're talking about the one that's paid in the mid-July. It is going to be split into 2 fiscal years. We're required to do that for accounting purposes. So we'll take 2 days of that payroll will go back to fiscal year 26, and the remaining 8 will go into fiscal year 27.
Awesome. Thank you, Melissa. Thank you, David. If y'all can stay for any questions at the end, that's great. I do want to keep moving, and I'm going to invite Maggie Redden, our Deputy Director of Communications, up for just a quick Chronicle reminder, because she did a lot of work and did a big shift to get it on SharePoint. Maggie.
Yes, hi everyone. Hopefully by now you've all been able to experience the new ADA compliant, digitally accessible, and always available Chronicle SharePoint. Just a quick how-to, so you can always find Chronicle and go back and reference it throughout the month, is just, adding it to your favorites bar. So the link will always be fallschurchva.gov/Chronicle home, and that will take you right to the homepage, landing page of the Chronicle, where you can always find basic information, employee events, Chronicle archives, and the latest edition of the Chronicle. You would just put Chronicle, the /Chronicle home into your browser. You hit the star to add it to your favorites or your bookmarks. Then you go and you rename it. I like to just have it as Chronicle home, but you can rename it however you want it. And then you just add it to your favorites or bookmarks bar, and then you hit done. It will probably ask you to authenticate since it's a SharePoint, but you all know how to do that. And so I hope you, if you haven't been able to yet, check out the new Chronicle. And I'm always looking for feedback, and this is kind of ever evolving. So if there's any ways or any insight or feedback that you have to improve this, I am more than welcome to receiving that.
Thank you so much, Maggie. We are going to keep rolling on this, but I do just want to give a big round of applause for the work that you and Joshua collaborated on to get this up here. And everyone, Maggie will still be telling us the first week of every month that the next month's Chronicle is ready to view, but saving this will also get us in the habits of starting to use SharePoint as an organization as it is compliant with ADA principles, and it helps us be better colleagues to have that information ready at our fingertips. Our last how-to today is with Megan DeSell to help us wrap up open enrollment for FY27. Megan.
Thanks so much, Mary Catherine. Excuse me, I'm getting over some allergy issues. But open enrollment has wrapped up. We had it from May 1st through 15th. All of the changes that were submitted during that window will be effective on July 1st, 2026. So if you changed your health plan, added or removed dependents, that will be in effect on July 1st, 2026 at the start of the new plan year. Any of the benefits changes that are going into effect from our benefits providers, the Anthem formulary changes to prescriptions, those will also be in effect on July 1st. Also, your flexible spending account re-enrollment. If you decided to sign up for the medical or the dependent care flexible spending account, those funds will start on July 1st. The pre-funded flexible spending account, the medical account, all of the funds that you agreed to put in for the plan year will be available on July 1st. And we do have that $680 carryover limit. So if you have funds left over in the current plan year's account, you want to use those, but you can carry over up to $680. Anything over that $680 on June 30th, 2026 will be forfeited back to WageWorks. So keep that in mind, spend your money, and you can carry over only $680. You would have signed up for the flexible spending account through Pierce. Any of the other voluntary benefits that you enrolled in through Pierce Insurance, like pet insurance, short-term disability, accident insurance, all of those will be effective on July 1st. Now, we do pay our health insurance premiums a month in advance, so you will see the new plan year's deductions start on June 5th. So the June paychecks pay for the July coverage and so forth. So you'll see the new plan year premiums start coming out on June 5th, pre-tax from your paycheck. And of course, there's lots of other information that I could talk about, but I do encourage you to check out Employee Corner for a lot of details. You can see the premium reference chart, a summary of the plan changes for the year. And any other questions, feel free to reach out to HR.
Thank you so much, Megan. Appreciate that. And congratulations to you and the HR team on all the work that you did to help everyone during open enrollment. We all really appreciate it. I'm going to keep on moving, and y'all know to go to Megan or the rest of the HR team with questions. We have one big project update this month, and I'm going to turn to Joe Carter to give that as we continue our collaborative work on mission, vision, values. Joe.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. I appreciate Maggie's picture because it brings back the start of the MVV project. We all took a picture in front of City Hall. So just want to kind of give an update on where we are. So the mission, vision, values rollout team did a tremendous job focusing on how we can take our mission, vision, values and turn them into things that really make this a living document that just doesn't sit on the shelf. So they gave us some recommendations. One of those recommendations was to develop a customer service philosophy throughout the organization. So Jenny and I have been working on different ways to get different people to kind of run different groups and things of that nature or recommendations. So I took on the customer service philosophy work group, and that work group was developed by utilizing some seat members along with departments that have regularly provided or regularly provides direct customer service to the public. And that group, I'll read you the names of who's on it. We got a great group. It's Claire Bradley, Brian Fonsil, Allie Golden, Sandy Ingram Salang, Avery Murphy, Nida Pasada, Danny Schlitt, and Scarlett Williams. So our group met for the first time last week, and during that meeting, we reviewed and adopted a group charter, and we also briefly discussed the group's purpose and goal, which was developing a customer service philosophy that both focused on internal and external customer service expectations, which we hope will improve consistency across the organization. So not much to update with this group from there. Like I say, we're just getting started, but I'm really excited about those members who are on it, and I really think we're going to develop a great product. I do want everyone to know that we really have done a tremendous job here and getting employee input throughout these customer service, whether it's the customer service philosophy, the mission vision rollout group. We do a really good job of meeting other employees where they are to make sure before we roll anything out that we do have other information that will help us develop a policy that best fits the organization. So don't worry, we will be reaching out to employees for your input as we move along in the process, and we'll be giving frequent updates as we move along. Second thing, the MVV rollout group also wanted, as I said before, for this document to be a living document. So they really thought it was important to have an accountability and follow-through team. So Jenny is going to be overseeing that this month and putting a group together that will do regular check-ins to see how we're doing as an organization and to hold the organization accountable for what the mission, vision, values rollout team has suggested that we need to do. The recommended members that the mission, vision, value rollout team has for their accountability team was they wanted Jenny Carroll to be the champion, one member from the EAC, one member from the mission, vision, values implementation work group, one representative from the Office of Communications, one representative from the property yard or operational staff, and one additional member as determined by leadership. Now, this was just their recommendation. It doesn't mean this is, where we're going to land. It does, being able to do this or being able to take on this responsibility will also play a role in that. But I do want you to know that we will try to, as best as we can, or Jenny will, to make sure that departments are representative on the accountability and follow-through team so that this continues to be a living document as we move forward. And we, or Jenny, will give progress updates as we go. So I'll finish there. Mary Catherine, if there's any questions, please feel free.
Yeah, does anyone have any questions? And while we wait for a question to come in, Jake has given you a shout out to you and Mike for your win at the ping pong tournament. I heard it was fierce competition, and I'm glad that there is a new tradition started at the city. And there's a shout out from Danny. Danny, I heard you and Henry were pretty fierce as well. Does anyone have any questions though about mission, vision, values for Joe at this point? I think that was a really comprehensive update. But if you have any, raise your hand now before we transition, or if Joe can stick around at the end, we can take more questions as well. All right, I don't see anything coming in. So we are going to transition to our final section, which is our events section. And we have a number of team members coming up for this. And I'm going to first hand it off to Scarlett Williams, who's going to tell us all about this awesome Public Works Week. Scarlett.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Scarlett is getting ready for some of our big events. So Amanda Brain here to join you. So happy Public Works Week to those who celebrate. We are excited. The theme this year from the American Public Works Association is Rooted in Service, Powered by Community. You all should have received an email earlier from Chris Barrett reminding folks that the property yard and fuel point are going to be closed and can more limited parts of today and tomorrow as staff will be engaged in some activities. Tomorrow morning, we're doing Touch a Truck for some local preschools. And then this event here, Public Works Open House, tomorrow Wednesday, May 20th from 3:30 to 6:30 p.m. This is at the Property Yard, and it is open to the public. So all of you, as well as the general public and the community, and you can, meet community helpers from across the operations and engineering side of Public Works. We'll have a lot of touch a truck and demonstrations, yeah, looking forward to really sharing the work that we do with the public. So tell your friends, bring your kids, and I would also just like to thank all the 60 members of the Department of Public Works for all you do every day. So thank you.
That's awesome. Thank you, Amanda. And big thanks to Scarlett for all her communications around it and the whole team for taking so much time to do such an observation and explore opportunity for the community to come together. I think it's amazing. I'm going to hand off to Amy Youngs to give an update on 250 and we'll keep rolling. Amy.
Okay, good morning. So the 250 events coming up, the first one you'll see on the screen at Oakwood Cemetery is actually full, as well as the June, July, August, September, and October tours at Oakwood Cemetery. So if this is something you are interested in, your next best bet is November 15th. And there's a sign up on the webpage. So if you follow from the Rec and Parks homepage, there's a 250 webpage link, and from there you can click on this event and see how to register for the tours over at Oakwood Cemetery. But they're walking tours and quite popular. The mobile museum will be at Memorial Day this year. It's been around. It was at Arlington a week or two ago for their History Fest. There are 2 of them, and they are traveling the state. And we were lucky enough to get it for Memorial Day, which is going to be a nice addition to the event. It'll be parked in front of City Hall. It's a pretty big trailer that expands, and we have some volunteers that are going to help escort and welcome folks to the mobile museum. And it's just here for the one day. So if you do want to come see it, come during Memorial Day. It'll be open for the full event time.
Thank you so much, Amy. I'm really excited for this. I think it really is a testament to how awesome the city's Memorial Day is that we got it. Yes. It's absolutely remarkable. And we'll come back to Amy and to Memorial Day in a minute. Next, we're going to slide over to Sarah Swinton from our Economic Development Office to give actually what's a big project update. So many people have been involved in this, but Sarah's leading the marketing communications, and I want her to be able to share with everyone because I think people have heard bits and pieces about Little City Sips. So Sarah, run us through it. Tell us all about it.
Sure, happy to explain this to people. I'm sure a lot of people have heard a lot of different rumblings about this event, starting from the winter up until now, but I'd like to shed some light on all the details. So what exactly is Little City Sips? Little City Sips is the City of Falls Church's first designated outdoor refreshment area, also referred to as DORA. This pilot event, following recent Virginia legislation allowing localities to establish designated outdoor refreshment areas, is our first stab at taking on this event. The event is tentatively scheduled to take place on Saturday, June 13th from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. within the clearly marked boundary area in the City of Falls Church as seen on the map in this slide. So it's just within the 100 to 200 block mainly of Broad Street, around where most of the restaurants are. The event encourages residents and visitors to explore the city's downtown area, support local businesses, and enjoy a vibrant, walkable environment through coordinated business participation, outdoor activation, community engagement, live music with a band playing at Mr. Brown's Park, and additional entertainment and music happening at the other participating businesses and restaurants. So a lot of different things happening at a lot of different places. Next slide. Okay, so how it works. It's really easy. You buy a drink from a participating business, you enjoy it in the official Little City Sips cup, which you can see there on the screen, and you can explore and walk around outside of the restaurants, but within the designated DORA area. And there'll be a ton of signs marked showing you where you should stay within the DORA so that you'll be A-okay to drink out of a Little City Sips cup. when you go outside of the Dora, you should throw away your cup, finish your drink, throw away your cup, and follow laws as you normally would. But when you're in the Dora during the designated times on the designated day, you can enjoy the drink and listen to bands and socialize with your neighbors, shop, and have fun outside. Adults aged 21 and older can purchase alcoholic beverages from participating businesses, enjoy drinks outdoors in the Little City Sips cups, walk within the designated Dora area, visit participating shops, restaurants, and public local spaces along the way, and vibe to live music at participating venues and outdoor spaces. Okay, Little City Sips business participation. There are currently a total of 16 businesses and restaurants signed up to participate in various levels during Little City Sips. 9 of those businesses are ABC licensed restaurants where the beverages for Little City Sips are purchased. You can see on this slide, Claire and John's, Dogwood, 4Ps, Lucky Tie, and a bunch of others. We also have 7 other businesses that have also decided to participate because they are within the specified Dora boundary area. And they'll be allowing Little City Sips beverages at their establishments, but they won't be selling them. So next slide. So in order to tell which businesses are participating and in which way during the event before entering a business with your Little City Sips drink, you would look for an official window cling, which you can see here. And it'll be displayed on the door or entrance of the business to determine their level of participation. Each of the participating businesses will have one of these letting everyone know how they plan to participate. So serving location would be the green one, which says sold here. You can hang out at a restaurant, buy Little City Sips drinks, and also take them out and walk around and go into other businesses that are participating, which would then have the blue welcome window cling on there. So this one is the welcoming location. This is a Dora-friendly business that welcomes customers carrying Little City Sips beverages purchased from participating locations within their business and outside their business. And the last one are businesses that do not want to participate. So you would see the red sticker saying not allowed. Alcoholic beverages are not allowed or permitted inside these businesses at that time, which is fairly obvious. So, oops, okay. Okay, next slide.
Yeah.
that's
So
it.
we're gonna hit one last note with Sarah, which is an announcement of our first summer restaurant week, and we'll be fast, but I thought it would be fun for Sarah to announce this today too.
Oh yeah, and we're doing finally first ever Falls Church, City of Falls Church Summer Restaurant Week. It's our first ever. It'll be Friday, August 21st through Sunday, August 10th. So 10 days of deliciousness is what we're calling it again. Last year in the winter, we had 66 restaurants participate in the winter event. So we're super excited to see how many will sign up this year and how many more people will take advantage of the awesome deals and delicious meals that happen during Restaurant Week.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sarah. And for all of you to know, there's been so many team members that have worked so hard on getting ready for Little City Sips, but the license from ABC is not there yet. So this is a very much before the authorization, but we've got our fingers crossed, our toes crossed for that. I'm going to invite to come back up Amy Youngs as Corey's out today and just give a quick update on Memorial Day, our big, amazing event that is next Monday. Amy.
So a quick Memorial Day breakdown. The day starts with the race in the morning. It starts right at 9 a.m. It's a fun run. And then we have the other big events for the day are the memorial ceremony at 11 a.m. and the parade is at 2 p.m. And the parade will feature these Grand Marshals that you see on the screen. The 3 of them were all teachers at Falls Church City Public Schools. 2 were kindergarten lead and paraprofessional, and then Mary Jo West was the band instructor. And fun fact, Mary Jo West is now a Recreation and Parks part-time employee as the band director for the Falls Church Concert Band, which is a Falls Church Recreation and Parks program. So the Falls Church Concert Band will immediately follow Mary Jo West in the parade on a trailer that Public Works has awesomely created for us and built some railings on a trailer for us. So thank you, Public Works, for making that happen for us. Corey is still taking volunteers. It's a busy day. It goes fast. If anyone wants to help us that day, it could be anything from handing out race coupons to t-shirts, handing out t-shirts, staffing the City of Falls Church info booth, helping at the parade. Could be any of those things. If you want to volunteer, reach out to Corey. And finally, Civic Jam is July 3rd. We're still really excited about this event. It's new, it's brand new, celebrating the 250th anniversary of the country with focus on volunteerism and civic engagement. So the idea of this event is to really highlight all the nonprofits in the city and as well as city groups that use volunteers. So if your department uses a volunteer for anything, this is going to be a great volunteer recruitment day. Also like boards and liaisons. So if you are looking for anyone, if you're short city residents on your board, come out, set up a table and try to recruit. It's going to be a great fun, lots of activities, kind of backyard game activities, as well as bounce house and mechanical bull maybe, and some music and some fun stuff. So it will be a lot of fun. Come join us.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Amy. Yeah, yesterday Arlington Now did an article that said mechanical bull coming to Falls Church, like as the headline, and then talked about all the other awesome stuff. So I'm really excited for this. I think Civic Jam is going to be the place to be on July 3rd. Thank you so much for that. I have some quick internal update reminders of events, and then I'm going to hand it off to Maggie Redden to close this out to talk about June events. So we do have that city manager recruitment feedback form that's open right now. You've received a number of emails regarding that link. That is a confidential form, and it closes this Thursday at midnight. So please do take the time to put your thoughts into that. It has gone out across the community, but I hope as staff, we each take the time to share our thoughts on that. As Amy just mentioned, Memorial Day is Monday. Our next employee town hall is Tuesday, June 16. If you've been thinking about presenting at one of our town halls, please come talk to me and we'll get you on the agenda. And then finally, we will be closed for Juneteenth on Friday, June 19th to celebrate. And with that, I will turn over to Maggie to close us out for today about our second annual June Joy. Maggie.
So periodically throughout the year, OCOM creates themes around different months that have a lot going on in the city. We did that for Black History Month. We've done that for Women's History Month. We just did that for April and Sustainability Month. So our next theme coming up is June Joy. And really the goal of June Joy is to celebrate the spirit of summer and uplift all the events, the cultures, and the community that really makes our city vibrant. So all the different things that will go into our June Joy campaign include Vietnamese Heritage Day, again, the program that Sarah just talked about, Little City Sips. We have a special exhibit going on at the Cherry Hill Farmhouse. Again, our Pride pop-up, which was super successful last year, is coming back this year. We will be celebrating Juneteenth. Concerts in the park start. And of course, we have a whole plethora of different library events. So the theme that will encompass all of this and will be promoted on socials and across our platforms will be June Joy. And along with that, we will be highlighting businesses that promote and support Pride, Juneteenth, and Vietnamese heritage. So look for all of that coming up at the end of the month for the month of June. With that, Mary Catherine, I will hand it back to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Maggie. And thanks for updating the visual identity on this so that it's both fun and ADA compliant. Well, everyone, our last slide today is an open slide for Q&A for people to raise their hand, continue to chat. I invite our speakers, if they can, to stick around and answer any questions. We are just 5 minutes from the full end of the meeting, but I always want to give people a chance to have those discussions here. So if you feel done, please, you can wave goodbye and head out. But if you do have questions, I encourage you to stay and connect here about that. So we have a comment from Taya, and it's about AI. So Nate, if you're around, on a general note, should we be reaching out to within staff regarding questions guidelines. So that would be Nate Dupree that you'll reach out to for questions. Taya recommends an FAQ. I think once everyone sees the guidance, we can think about where are the areas, those gaps that would be an FAQ. So the things that we're going to keep asking. So I love that recommendation, Taya. Do you have any questions addition to that? Oh, we got a thank you on that. All right. This is great. I love this engagement on this topic. Does anyone else have any questions and comments? You can raise your hand. You can put it in the chat. All right. Any weather contingency planning for Memorial Day? Bring an umbrella? I believe that Memorial Day is always rain or shine, but I'll throw that over to Amy to answer more officially.
Hi, I was typing it, then I realized I can just talk. Sorry. Yes, you might want to plan to bring an umbrella. We do have in our emergency plan kind of a sheltering, if the storm comes through and we need to, and your best bet for sheltering is going, Joe, thank you, is going to be the Kaiser parking garage or the Harris Teeter parking garage. So we get permissions from Harris Teeter to use their facility as a, emergency shelter should people need to make a quick escape to somewhere safe. But you might want an umbrella. Hopefully you don't, but you might want it.
Fantastic. Yes, we had perfect weather last year. So we're crossing fingers, knocking on wood for this one.
Is the 250 museum, mobile museum also rain or shine?
I would think so, yes, because
Okay.
yeah, it's fully enclosed.
Cool. That's great. Sarah Young's offered a comment. Oh, I must have missed a question from Maria. Follow up. Is that training for safety and use of AI or promoting for better outcomes? I will let
I'm
Nate.
still here, Mary Catherine.
Okay, great, Nate.
Yes, so that training that would include both of those topics, yes.
Thank you. I think we're the people who love the training. Thank you all. All right, we've got 2 minutes on the clock. Don't be shy. A lot of y'all are still around. Usually we have so many more people jump off by this point. So I think we had some really engaging topics today. Please share your questions. All right, we're trickling down now. All right, it's been a minute since our last question, so I'm going to go ahead and close out the meeting. And I have a hearty thank you to every single presenter today, for everyone who put in all the questions and all the engagement. Thank you so much. We'll see you back live virtually in June for our final town hall of FY26. And I wish everyone a great week. Enjoy the hot weather if that's your thing. Thank you. Bye-bye.